Hi everyone, this is Don Yaeger, and over the last 25 years I've spent some time with some amazing champions, trying to discern from them what are the secrets that allowed them to be so enormously successful, but more importantly, what allowed them to maintain that success for extended periods of time. And over the last 5 years as a speaker, I've spent some time trying to work with great companies and associations on how they can teach their employees and their members some of the lessons, the secrets that these great champions would offer. You know, if you believe as I do that success leaves secrets, it leaves clues. Our job is to find those clues so that we can grow, we can create our own cultures of greatness, and that's what the lessons here that we're trying to transfer are all about. You know, but when I talk to a lot of these companies, I get a chance often to speak with executives about what some of their challenges are, and the challenge that comes up often is this great challenge on what to do with digital marketing, how that world is changing. And so as I had the opportunity, I've got to grow and learn from one of the greatest digital marketers I've ever met, and a man who is not just a best-selling author, but someone who has a complete understanding of this space. And so today, I thought it'd be kind of exciting to be able to introduce you to Stephen Woessner and to get a chance to ask Stephen a few questions about this business. Stephen, thank you so much for giving me time.
Well, thanks for the invitation, my gosh.
No, this is really great to be able to learn more about what you do, because I know that what you do impacts so many businesses on a regular basis. In fact, in a moment of full disclosure, we're going to go ahead and admit that I actually have engaged Stephen to work with my companies and to work with, to make what we do better and to present better product to those of you who are getting a chance to look at what we do. So Stephen, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
You know, as I talk to so many of these business owners and other folks, you know, they're always looking for what are the things that most of them, what are the things that they should be looking for, the holes in their systems. And I'm intrigued by how you'd answer that question, because I know from what I've learned from you, I try to, but it's probably not anywhere near as effective as your answer would be.
Well, so I've been engaged in this for really since the advent of the commercial internet, which is, you know, well over 20 years now. And coming from it from both a private sector as well as a academic perspective. You know, I spent, aside from, you know, owning 5 companies, but I spent 6 years as academic staff at the University of Wisconsin, specifically the La Crosse campus. But I taught throughout all of the UW system, including UW-Madison School of Business. So I've been doing this for quite a while, and that's given me the ability to do a few kind of special things. So I've identified what I call 7 money drainers, and these are the things that literally cause a website to leak serious money every single day. And then there's actually 8 what I call money-making opportunities, and those are the things that if a company puts them into place, that they can increase sales by 200 to 500% or more in 12 months or less.
So let's be honest. Almost all of us want to talk first about the drainers.
Okay.
What are the things that you see that where people are making those mistakes?
Okay, so I bet you'll see a lot of parallels, like when you work with a company to achieve greatness, and you parallel that with your experience. It's all about probably having focus, knowing what it is that you want to accomplish, right? I mean, Michael Orr didn't just wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to be a all-pro offensive tackle. I mean, it's something that he, set a goal and he pursued over time, and he worked on his craft and so forth. He knew what it was that he wanted to do. Or Coach Wooden, he didn't win 10 championships, right, in 12 years just by accident. He had a very specific plan. Right. And you've documented that so wonderfully in your 16 characteristics of greatness. So same thing on a digital marketing side. It seems like maybe an odd parallel, but
not at all, actually.
So it's most business owners, in my opinion, or executives, don't really know what it is that they want to accomplish first. So there's a lack of baselines and what I call SMART predictives. Or SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. These are the goals that we're going to try and accomplish because they sync up with the overall business strategy. So just like if you're going to coach a basketball team for great performance, you need to know what the goals are and what you're going to do once you get out on the field or the court.
It's not just about the final score. You have to. The goals need to be. Often they need to be measurable on short-term periods as well.
Well, I mean, so you had the honor to mentor with Coach Wooden for 12 years. So was there anything in those 12 years that you thought, well, this guy just flew by the seat of his pants? He was all about guesswork when he got on the court?
Never. In fact, one of the things I think was always pretty incredible with Coach Wooden was, they ran a two-hour practice every day, and he would spend 3 hours preparing for a 2-hour practice, which I thought was incredible. And it and he had his practice notes from the previous year. I mean, he was so well. It was defined down to the minute what they were going to be doing each minute of those 2 hours.
Yeah, and then it's getting better over time and being consistent. And like when I read your book with Coach Wooden, and there was a lesson in there about mentoring and how, here's one of the arguably greatest coaches of all time, and yet at the end of the season, right, he sits down with his staff and they critique. I mean, they just won the title and they sit down and critique and tear the season apart. And where could we have gotten better, or where did we underperform? And they think, well, that team that we played, they really shot their foul shots so exceptionally well in the fourth quarter. I wonder how they did that. And he sat down to write a note to the coach of that opposing team to see if he could then go and meet with that coach.
Right.
How
Imagine
amazing
getting
is
one of
that?
those notes, huh?
Right, and so again, another parallel is being consistent over time and constantly learning and improving, and that's the same thing that we do. So it's not just a, one and done type thing. It's being consistent over time with all of these different steps. It's not trying to take one out of the 47 and thinking that's good. It's doing all of them, and then that's what leads to excellence.
You know what? Right up front, one of the things that you surprised me with as we first started looking at the website that I have, that many folks might be watching this video from, was that right off the bat, almost half the people who opened my website were leaving before they ever even went to another page. They weren't clicking on anything else. They were leaving because there were so many options, so many things you could do, and as you so rightfully said, if you have 15 options, you really have none. And I loved my website. I thought it was awesome. I mean, obviously that's why I worked in its construction, to make sure it was. But I'm not the customer, and I had to learn to adapt to what made customers made them more enthused and engaged. And what a great lesson you taught me in that. I know that's one of the many of the holes in websites that you point out to folks.
Yeah, and in fact, that's money drainer number 2.
Right.
Is bounce rate and how visual clutter contributes to it. In fact, Harvard Business Review just had a great article in the March 2013 issue about how if you have too much choice, then no choices are taken. And so if you whittle that down to maybe 3 choices here and 3 choices on the next page, and put people into, if you want to call it, kind of a funnel. In fact, a great book, I don't know the author personally, but his name is John Jansen. He wrote Duct Tape Marketing. And he talks about this funnel, and we apply it the same thing. It's called this know, like, and trust funnel. So kind of the days of a very complicated marketing funnel, I think that those are long gone because of social media and trust and relationships. So essentially, when people are hitting your web page for the very first time, and one of your leading keywords is Don Yaeger, people hear you and then come and look for you afterwards, and or maybe they've heard of you because of your reputation, so they're searching for you by name. So as soon as those prospects or suspects hit your homepage, they know you, but they don't trust you yet. So what content can you put into place to move somebody from trust to move somebody from know to like to trust, and then they become try, buy, repeat, or engage you for speaking, consulting, mentoring, or all the awesome things that you do. And so there is actually a very logical flow of content that needs to kind of work that person through that process.
Isn't that interesting? It's so much more complicated. Again, until meeting you, I had this strong sense that the most important thing in a website was that people felt like there was so much there that you could wrap your arms around. But the truth is that can actually work to your disadvantage.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so I know you want to ask me some questions, but I hope you don't mind me turning the tables on you a little bit.
Not at all.
Okay, so you mentioned leadership secrets, leadership, and then creating this culture of greatness, which I think sounds like a high degree of awesome. So what are some of those things? What are some of those leadership secrets that you like to see companies that you work with put into place that lead to greatness?
Sure, I would tell you. So the general presentation, the first presentation that I do for a lot of companies, is built around the characteristics of great winners, what we can learn from them, and it's really the result of interviews I've done with 2,500 athletes over the last 2.5 decades, sitting down with each one, asking them what allowed you to do what others couldn't, and what do you think is a characteristic you would say was responsible for your success. And the number one answer that comes up, you ask any one of these great winners that question, is that they found a time in their life when they learned to hate losing more than they love winning. And the way they got there, the way that you learn to hate losing more than you love winning, is you take excuses off the table. Because as long as there's an excuse out there for failure, it's not yours, right? You don't really own it. It's not anything that you have to be responsible for. But you take excuses off the table, you're going to learn to hate losing pretty quickly. I had the chance to have a conversation with Michael Jordan about a year ago on this exact subject, and we were talking about it. And he had this line that was so great. He said, a loss is not a failure until you make an excuse. And I love that. You start thinking about what allows really the great ones to get there and stay there. Take excuses off the table. And if you took that and you put it in any one of our lives, imagine how much more competitively great we'd be. How more often we'd end up at the peak of the pyramid, in Coach Wooden's language.
Oh yeah, an awesome pyramid
right,
too.
Right. Of which the peak is competitive greatness. How do we get there? The second answer that really comes up most often is that they understand that they're a product of the people that are in their inner circle. That Coach Wooden actually once said to me, "You will never outperform your inner circle." You want to know what your capacity for greatness is? Look at the people you have around you, because you'll never outperform them. And I thought, wow, what a powerful lesson! What a way to look at everybody you have in your life. Are they part of the inner circle I want? Are they the reflection of myself that I want to see? And you make yourself great by improving your inner circle right off the bat.
So those sound like three, really awesome things that, business leaders, business owners can adopt into their process,
right.
And create this greatness culture that you are striving for.
Absolutely. I do think that every company has the potential to build a culture of greatness. I think that it's not just about us as individuals defining greatness and becoming and working on that. It's about how do we fit it? How do we fit those efforts within a corporate environment? And I think once you've really set that out as a standard, as something that you want to achieve, you'd be amazed some of the ways that people respond.
Well, one of the things that I'm excited for viewers and of your list and people that know and have respected you for a while to hear is the fact that you're going to be a speaker at our event here at the Ritz-Carlton in January, Predictive ROI Live. And we don't have registrations open, so there's not like a sales pitch for that, right now. But I want people to know that you're going to be speaking there, and you're going to be taking some of these things that you just shared with us and with me, and you're going to be able to take all of the great things that we're going to be teaching over 2.5 days, and be able to package it up for somebody at the end, so that they can take all of that stuff into actionable insights and create this culture of greatness. I think it's amazing, and I'm so happy that you're going to be there.
Well, I'm excited to be able to join it, and it was awesome to get the invitation. But beyond that, it was great to think that while there may be piece parts of how to build a more actionable digital presence in what you're going to be talking about in those 2.5 days, that at the end of it, we're going to send them off with this idea that what, there is an opportunity for each and every one of us to achieve something special. The greatness is available to all of us if we're willing to do common things uncommonly well, and that's what most people don't want to do, are the common things.
Well, yeah, because it's hard work, right? And it takes diligence and perseverance, and one of the downsides to an amazing event, you create that campfire effect, and people are really excited for the 2.5 days that they're there.
And they go back and put those notes in their drawer, and then they're off.
Which is why I'm so excited that you're going to be there.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the opportunity, hopefully, to inspire the audience a little bit at the end to take what they've learned and do something special.
Well, thanks for the invitation today.
Stephen, thank you for coming.
Of course.